There's a reason the tomato your grandmother grew tasted like something, and the one you buy now tastes like water. And it is not a conspiracy, it is genetics. For thousands of years, every gardener was also a seed saver. You grew a plant, you liked it, you kept its seeds, and next year that same plant came back. That is how every heirloom variety you have ever heard of came to exist. Then something changed in the way seeds are sold, and most people quietly forgot how to do the one thing that made a garden truly their own. Today, I want to give that back to you. This is the heirloom vault method, and it is coming back in a big way. By the end of this video, you will understand why most store-bought seeds cannot be saved, which vegetables are easiest to start with, and how to store your own seeds so they stay alive for years. None of this requires special equipment, and none of it requires spending money. It is the oldest gardening skill there is, and it has been hiding in plain sight. So let us begin with the single most important thing nobody tells you. Most of the seeds sold today are what growers call F1 hybrids. An F1 hybrid is created by crossing two very different parent plants on purpose. The first generation, the one you buy, is uniform and vigorous, and that part is real and genuinely useful. But here's what the seed packet does not explain. When you save seeds from an F1 hybrid and plant them, the next generation does not come true, and the traits split apart. You might plant seeds from a beautiful red tomato and get plants that produce something small, pale, and disappointing. People try this, it fails, and they conclude that saving seeds simply does not work. So they go back to buying seeds every single year. That is the real reason the skill faded, not because anyone hid it, but because the seeds most of us buy were never designed to be saved. Now here is the good news, and it changes everything. There's another kind of seed, and it has been around far longer than any hybrid. It is called open-pollinated seed, and every heirloom variety is open-pollinated. Open-pollinated simply means the plant was pollinated naturally, and its seeds grow into plants just like the parent. They come true, year after year after year. Plant a saved Brandywine tomato seed, and you get a Brandywine tomato. Plant a saved Cherokee purple, and you get a Cherokee purple. This is the entire foundation of seed saving. Choose open-pollinated or heirloom varieties, not hybrids. How do you know which is which? Look at the seed packet or the plant label. If it says F1 or simply hybrid, those seeds will not come true. If it says open-pollinated or heirloom or heritage, you are holding seeds you can save forever. That one distinction is worth more than any expensive product you could buy. So now you know what to grow, and next let us talk about which plants to actually start with, because some are dramatically easier than others. The easiest vegetables to save seeds from are beans, peas, lettuce, and tomatoes, and there is a beautiful reason for this. These plants are self-pollinating, meaning each flower pollinates itself before it even opens. That means they almost never cross with a neighboring variety, so you do not have to worry about your neighbor's garden changing your seeds. Beans and peas are the simplest of all. You just let the pods dry right on the plant till they rattle, then you shell them, and the seeds are ready to store. The plant does the drying work for you. Lettuce is nearly as easy. You let one plant bolt, meaning it grows tall and flowers, and then it forms fluffy seed heads a bit like a dandelion. You shake those into a paper bag, and you have hundreds of seeds. But the tomato is where most people make one specific mistake, so let us slow down here. Tomato seeds are wrapped in a slippery gel sac inside the fruit, and that gel is not there by accident. It contains a natural germination inhibitor whose job is to stop the seed from sprouting inside a wet tomato. And here is the mistake. If you just scoop the seeds out, dry them, and store them, that gel stays attached, and your germination the following spring can drop dramatically. People do this, get almost nothing, and give up. The solution is a simple, old technique called fermentation, and it sounds technical, but it takes about 3 days and a jar of water. You scoop the seeds and gel from a fully ripe tomato into a small jar. You add a little water and you cover it loosely, never sealed, so air can escape. You leave it on the counter for about 3 days, and a layer of harmless white film forms on top. That natural fermentation breaks down the gel and strips away the germination inhibitor. It also helps clean away seed-borne diseases, which is a genuine bonus. One warning that matters: do not ferment much longer than 3 days, because past that point it can start to reduce germination instead of helping it. After 3 days, you rinse the seeds well in a fine strainer, and the good seeds sink while the bad ones float away. Then you spread them on a plate or a coffee filter to dry completely, not paper towel, because they stick. And that is the whole secret to tomato seeds. Not a device, not a supplement, just water, a jar, and 3 days of patience. Now, once your seeds are clean and dry, we reach the part that decides whether all of this actually works, and that is storage. This is where most saved seeds quietly die, and almost nobody talks about it. Seeds are alive, dormant but alive, and two things kill them faster than anything else: moisture and heat. The single most useful rule I can give you is this: keep your seeds cool, dry, dark, and sealed. Dry them thoroughly first, then place them in an airtight container. A glass jar with a tight lid works beautifully, and you store that jar somewhere cool and dark. A cupboard away from the stove is fine, and a refrigerator is even better if you have the room. Do not store seeds in a hot garage, a sunny windowsill, or a damp basement, because warmth and humidity together are what shorten their life the most. Now here is something that will genuinely surprise you. Different seeds live for very different amounts of time. This is knowledge most gardeners never learn, and it saves you from planting dead seeds. Onion, leek, and parsnip seeds are short-lived, roughly 1 to 2 years, and then they fade fast, so use those quickly. But tomato, cucumber, and lettuce seeds, stored well, can stay viable for around 4 to 6 years, and beans and peas keep for about 3 years. So the seeds you thought you had to replace every spring may still be perfectly good, and if you are ever unsure whether an old batch is still alive, there is a simple test. Place 10 seeds on a damp paper towel, fold it, and slip it into a plastic bag somewhere warm, then check after about a week. If 7 of the 10 sprout, you have roughly 70% viability, and you simply sow a little more thickly. No lab, no guesswork, just 10 seeds and a paper towel. Think about what this actually means. One fully ripe heirloom tomato picked in late summer holds around 50 seeds. 50 seeds is next year's entire row, and the year after that, and the year after that. For free, from a plant you already know grows well in your own soil. That is the real power that was quietly lost. Not a secret formula, but a skill, and it is entirely yours to reclaim. Now, I have given you the honest core of the Heirloom Vault method here, for free, and everything I told you works exactly as described. But I want to be straight with you about what I could not fit into one video. There are 3 practical tools that turn this from an idea into a reliable system, and they need charts and detail that simply do not work as spoken words. The first is the complete seed longevity chart, listing how many years every common vegetable stays viable so you never plant a dead seed again. The second is the isolation distance guide, which tells you exactly how far apart to keep varieties that can cross, so your saved seeds stay pure and true. The third is the germination test protocol, a simple 1-page method to check any batch of old seeds before you waste a whole season on them. I have put all 3 together, written out clearly in a companion guide. You will find the link in the description below and in the pinned comment. It is the natural next step once you have started saving your first seeds. If this video gave you back something you thought was lost, do one small thing for me. Save 1 tomato this year, just 1. Ferment the seeds, dry them, store them cool and dark, and label the jar. Next spring, plant them, and watch your grandmother's kind of garden come back to life in your own backyard. Subscribe if you want more of the old skills explained honestly, with nothing hidden and nothing invented, and I will see you in the next one.